still not going to be the Kai's first pick. It is Alistar. They want him to be the star right now. So yeah, a very support heavy, very support centric draft here from Jingdong Gaming. I mean, I understand Doki is always the tip of the spear. He's always the one who's making these engages happen for most of the time. But Trace eSports, man, now that they're on red side, maybe things can change a little bit in their draft. But they are still they are going to be going for the Varus this time.
Wow.
Not wanting to give that over to Juju, but the priority onto Rakan. I mean, yeah, Gragas and Nautilus are both banned out. So other than the Alice, you got the Rakan, but look at this. Fei-Bai now wanting to carry a little bit.
Okay, he's back on the Akali this time around. And Ash? Wow, okay, this is definitely something that I'm gonna be looking forward into this game. The Ash arrows coming towards Trace eSports away. This is a way to actually take down Trace eSports. KBG did this against Trace eSports, which is one of the reasons why KBG won the game number 3 during their match against Trace eSports. Shamo was incredibly good on the Ash arrows. Juju can also be that as well, especially with the amount of burst potential now with the Akali. But Trace eSports getting the Renekton is a necessary adjustment. This is something that we have asked for Trace eSports. Lee Sao, if he's the one using the Renekton, this is a good sign.
Yeah, I feel like Lee Sao is the one who's going to be on that Renekton train. And yeah, it is going to be a good sign. It's going to be a brilliant opportunity there for Trace eSports. But that does, thinking that first, it does give Jingdong Gaming a little bit of a clue as to what they're going to be dealing with. So it will let them, you know, select a top laner that may be able to deal with that a little bit better. So now, though, we get into the second phase of bans. JDG, they do not want Weiba to be on that Vi, because that Vi is a little bit of a problem for them. We see a lot now, a lot more different of a draft this time than the past 3 games. We are seeing a lot of things come out that maybe, you know, they were saving for when the chips are down. But right now, JDG, they just want to get to that match point. They're going to pick up 2 incredibly powerful laners. Fei-Bai, that Akali can just go
Shen
in all
angle?
the time. The Shen angle, though, that is something that is, I'm gonna be honest, very scary to consider, but very possible for JDG.
If they want to be able to have some you know, resistance in terms of the auto attacks, you know, get the taunts as well, maybe the Shen, it's going to be a good angle. This Kaisa can still go in the mid lane if ever.
Yeah.
And they're really saving the best for last year for Trace eSports.
Wait a minute, Jingdong Gaming, what are you doing? You're gonna put Fei-Bai on the...
Wait.
You're gonna put Fei-Bai on Corki, and it's Sunny who's gonna be on the Akali going up against Lee Sao in the top lane. That is very interesting. What an interesting draft for Jingdong Gaming. Definitely a little bit of mind games going on, but Weiba, Aatrox is going to be unlocked for him.
Let me get a taste of this Aatrox that you once had being the star player here of JDG. And I think this is going to be an interesting draft here for both teams. Akali onto the top lane, and of course a Corki into the mid lane here for Fei-Bai instead. Will provide very interesting interaction here for both mid laners, I would say, because both are scaling. So I think we are not going to be seeing any sort of action, at least in the mid lane, the first 5 minutes into the game. But top lane, Akali and Renekton has been, you know, a matchup that we have seen a lot of times, even in the previous patches as well. It can go either way. It's up to the execution now of Sunny and Lee Sao, and this is where things gets exciting. We haven't really seen Lee Sao on an aggressive champion just yet. Most of the time we do see him on stable champions like the Garen, but this time he has to step up. He is stepping up, but he needs to take down Sunny on one of his signature champions in the top lane. This is a guy that is very comfortable flexing the likes of Akali and even the Corki at one time in the top lane.
Yeah, and that does make this a lot harder to call for us as casters, because Jingdong Gaming, They are very, very flexible. They are not afraid to mess with their lane arrangement if that does give them the advantage. So it is very interesting and very cool to see that they are kind of drafting in such an interesting way. So I guess we'll just have to see how they actually execute it. But Jaja and Juju, they are going to be having a little bit of an arrow fight. Just going to shoot each other with their arrows. Both of them archers in their own right. So that is kind of cool that is the bot lane right now.
Trace eSports in their draft is very flexible as of the moment. There are a lot of ways you can go into a fight. Eyes on Pack later on for sure with this Rakan pick, because we have seen a lot of miraculous plays being made by talented Rakan players. Even yesterday, right? Kato Y had an MVP performance on the Mel just because of his Rakan performance. Allowed him to get so much good angles in all of the fights. And now it's up to Tak to make the same plays. No longer he is going to be interrupting the farming of one. Top lane though.
Yeah, Lee Sao is going to be in a lot of danger. Sandy already in the early game looking for a potential first blood, but he has to be very careful of the Crocodile. But in the mid lane, there's a little bit of a scuffle here. It's JDG who have more members as Once comes in for the backup, but he will just dissuade Trace eSports from going any further. Lee Sao, though, going to be flashing and then going for the kill. The Ignite, will it tick down? Because
one more.
No, it's not. Chatty barely lives with just a tiny, tiny sliver of health. Wow. Lee Sao tried to commit there.
If Lee Sao was able to get an auto attack before his Predator, it would have been a kill. That's how close the 1v1 was. And Lee Sao definitely was determined to get the kill onto Sand. That shows confidence. That shows potential here for Trace eSports this time around. Now I'm relieved with him in this Renekton, because having to see him a lot of times on the Garen is not a good sign given the switch on the Renekton, right? But this time, that kind of performance, that is going to give us more insurance, or more assurance rather, in his performance in the Baron lane against Sunny.
Yeah, a little bit more confidence in that performance in this Baron lane, because Renekton is an early game top laner. He does provide some power in the early phases of the game, but he falls off just a little bit harder than that Akali, because the Akali is really meant to be, a champion that, how do I say this? That can turn entire games around by doing the right things in the right fight, right? So Sadie has a lot more potential in the late game than Lee Sao, because Lee Sao basically just is a big chunk of alligator meat in the late game there. But there's a Chad Crystal Arrow. It will hit, and that's going to be a kill. It's Once to pick up the first blood, and this is why you ban out the Ashe, ladies and gentlemen, because that Enchanted Crystal Arrow and Wild Rift is so potent.
And it's also the main kryptonite here of Trace eSports so far. And it's definitely working right now for JDG. They have to really watch out for those arrows whenever it is on cooldown. Juju is gonna be casting it and trying to land on the members of Trace eSports. No one is safe, not even Weiba later on as an Aatrox, because there's no pure tank on Trace eSports.
Yeah, no pure tank, but Juju is going to be flashed on. The auto attack will land, but it won't kill. No, the rain will not fall on Juju's parade today.
I actually thought it would be the scattered arrows before the piercing arrow, to get the better combination and a proc of stacks, but yeah, that slight change allowed actually Juju to be safe, especially after the flash initiated by Jaja, and the flash was just the usual response by Juju to be safe. Now, since there's no flash on this virus, that's again an opportunity for JDG. When that arrow is available, they can just cast it on Jaja, and JDG is going to be watching for that opportunity.
Oh yeah, whenever that Enchanted Crystal Arrow is online, when it's off cooldown, JDG have a very big opening. So that will at least draw some flashes, but JDG have to be in the right position, mind you, to actually take advantage of that. So their positioning going to be incredibly important when it comes to these later team fights. So I really want to see how that turns out for them. But now, let's take a look, because this is going to be a little bit dicey, I feel, for the side of Trace Esports, as JDG are the ones to maybe start the Dragon here. There's 3 members of Trace Esports, Weiba specifically trying to get them off, because, you know, Trace Esports, they want the 3 Dragon buff.
Oh?
Oh, and that is an engage once again onto Doki. There's the quickness and the grand entrance, but it is Weiba who goes down first. He is going to get snapped up by Sani. The Chains of Corruption will stop any further aggressions here, but without the jungler, that means this dragon will be free for Jingdong Gaming, unless Lee Sao has something to say about it. Just flash out the Payba, he does get the Ruthless Predator, and he does give the kill over to Rose, but now the rest of the health bars from Trace Esports, a little bit too unhealthy to be continuing to fight, but once we'll be getting the dragon off the back of that.
I mean, it's still just a 1-for-1, so JDG was still able to get a kill onto Lee Sao at the very end, so it's pretty much nullified, and still JDG was able to get the dragon for themselves. It's much better, and the positioning was also good. I want to see a replay later on what happened, because the initiation for Doki was a little bit off, but the follow-up by Once was still there. That was able to isolate Weiba, or the members of Trace Esports will help out Weiba. And again, oh no!
Oh.
Okay,
that could have been bad. That could have been bad, but
we're going for a double
fair enough.
Here.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Trace Esports, they want to contest, but they're being prevented from doing so.
But now they are going to be going to go for it, and there's the triple knockup there. But it's still going to be the Rift Herald for Jingdong Gaming. They are able to retreat very safely, as Sadi is forced to flash there. Weiba tried to go on him. But yeah, both early objectives going the way of Jingdong Gaming. Predator missile not going to hit, so no killer instinct available. But Talk with a quickness of flash. He will take a tower shot. Fade by will be getting that kill, and Doki re-engages immediately. A kill off Juju, and then Once just jumps in onto the Crocodile. That's 3 kills for Jingdong Gaming immediately.
That's just insult added to the injury now of Trace Esports, as JDG gets more kills after taking double objectives as well. A 3,000 gold lead after getting this tier 1 tower in the mid lane too. Not the best start here for Trace Esports, probably one of the worst as well, as they tried to interrupt the dragon takedown. They tried to start it up, but it's just so bad, especially with the proper engage by JDG. Tak was so low to actually even initiate for the fight. And Feibai was able to, or the members of JDG was able to escape. So now without any flash, JDG has one thing in mind. Now go in. There's no quickness, there's no grand entrance, no one can stop us.
Yup, there's, when all of those engaged tools of Trace Esports are gone, Jingdong Gaming are super free to just get their own engage on.
Now
and it's such a deadly engage too.
Yeah, because if your full H, oh my god, still able to escape.
Oh
Fortunately, does have the Quicksilver Slash enchantment on his boost. That's pretty early as well. I think it's necessary after that interaction. So good job by Tak, not being able to be taken out, because all the kills being acquired here by JDG is going to be so bad here for Trace Esports, especially with the lead that JDG already possesses.
Yeah, JDG, they have a pretty decent lead. It is just about 3,000 at 8.5 minutes, but this is not insurmountable just yet for Trace Esports. I think that Trace Esports are just jumping the gun a little bit in the way that they want to engage, so I don't know, man. It seems like Trace Esports are have dropping the ball with the change up in the way that their playstyle is from the past like 3 games. They're kind of still adjusting to it, because this is basically, oh god, the enchanted crystal arrow will not be landing. Rose just fancy feeding away, but fair enough, because Once was not ready, but Doki is ready to go on to 2 members. He gets Chains of Corruption though, so that stops that aggression. But man, what an aggressive cow.
Yeah, and JDG in general is just very aggressive. They like to make plays all over the map whenever their spells are available to be used, and Trace Esports, they've become a victim here of the aggressive playstyle of JDG so far. They haven't really found the best position to take down JDG, even Lisa right now is very vulnerable because once is here. Fortunately, Weiba is also there. So JDG has to, step back a little bit, let him farm up for the meantime, just wait for the dragon to spawn up and try to get the same double objective that they acquired in game number 2 or game number 3. Because if they get the mountain dragon and another dragon, it's going to be more difficult to actually deal damage on JDG.
Oh yeah, but right now it is just JDG trying to melt down this dragon as fast as they can, as Doki is going to prevent the rest of Trace Esports, and he will be going for a double pulverize there, but the rest of the fight is on the right side. Once, though, is going to be going on to Tak, as Tak will fall down. Weiba now, the jungle versus jungle, as Sadie just flashes in. He is such a strong ninja right now, as there's the execute onto Weiba, and another kill for Sadie onto the mid laner Rose, as JDG, they extend their lead by, how many more kills? 3 more kills.
Yeah, and also secure the dragon for themselves. So now, additional cooldown provided for Jaja, for Juju, and the rest of the members of JDG. Amazing arrow as well, preventing any sort of attempt here for Trace Esports to try and steal. And this is basically an unnecessary part for Trace Esports. But since they are too deep into this river, JDG found themselves an opportunity once again. Weiba cannot deal any damage because Once keeps interrupting his engages, and Sandy deals so much damage. The impact of Once with the Xin Zhao is definitely amazing. Very reminiscent of game number 3.
Absolutely, and this time, that last game just really showed how Once is raring to go on that Xin Zhao, and he's doing the same thing here. He is not hesitating at all whatsoever when it comes to these engages. He is always like, all right, I'm gonna go in and I trust my team to have my back. And fair enough, they do have his back whenever he goes in, and so it is a very, very good thing for JDG that Doki is really enabling Once and Sandy to be the aggressive fighters that they want to be. They want to be in the middle of the fight, and that is where you can find them.
It's like having 3 utility players, right? The Alistar, the Xin Zhao, and even the Ashe, helping Sunny be as perfect as he can in terms of execution. And Feibai just being able to wreak havoc with the damage of this Corki as well. So that creates so much complications right now for Trace Esports. They could not engage because they have no front line.
Yep, but here's a Enchanted Crystal Arrow. They don't need a front line, excuse me, as Weiba is probably going to be the front line here with the World Ender especially. But now, let's look at how the cow is down. That is how now Brown Cow. Unfortunately, Doki will be going down, but oh my god, Sani goes back in along with Once. They just burst down the virus immediately. Is gone. Weiba is gone as well. Sani takes that kill, and with Juju there, he is able to secure another kill. He flashes onto Rose, gets a volley onto Tak as well. The slow, he is just running. He one more auto attack. Just allows a shot to kill him. Oh my god, Juju, he's running. He's hauling butt into the Baron pit with Once.
Now you're just gonna be getting a free Baron. JDG is just styling on Trace Esports as if this is a negligible game. And Trace Esports, they just got baited in that top side fight a while ago. Sadie was waiting for the perfect opportunity to get that perfect execution onto them as well. Wrecking Havoc, taking so many members, chunking their HP down and delete them almost in an instant. And let's check that one more time because that was really amazing. Started off with a gank here in mid lane. Yeah, that was very nice. But here in the top lane is where things get interesting because it is essentially a 4 versus 5. And there's also a fight happening here as the Kaisa is still able to escape. Look at the top side. It's just so amazing.
Once, though, he is in a 1 versus 3. Doki is going to be coming to back him up, but he can just 1v1 that Crocodile. He's already fallen off of a cliff. But Tak and Weiba have to get out of there quickly as Feibai rushes in and tries to chase them down along with Doki. And Doki just wants to go for the pulverize or the head, but Feibai still going for the frost bombs and the missile shots. The barrage is happening right now. There's the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Those way gonna miss, but it will be good enough. Man, what was that?
I mean, It reached to the Howling Abyss. Don't worry.
Yeah.
JDG now getting
on to the
third
next
dragon.
game.
On to the next game. And I wonder who's gonna be getting hit next. But definitely this dragon being secured by JDG is like cherry on top on the whole game plan now of JDG. There's absolutely no way, I would say, or it would take a miracle for Trace eSports to win any fight from now.
Yeah, it would be very, very difficult indeed for Trace eSports to try to win a team fight, even if they have the positive engage, because they're just not fit enough. There's Enchanted Crystal Arrows, we're gonna miss. He tries to aim it towards Rose, but Rose is able to get out quickly. Now, though, it is a very, very difficult time for Trace eSports. They just want to try to farm up, but there is the threat of the Elder Drake spawning later on, as that is going to be the target, you know, for Jingdong Gaming. But will this target be enough? Will this be the will the Elder Drake fight be the nail in Trace eSports' coffin?
I think so. I don't even think JDG needs the Elder Dragon anymore. The only thing they need is another Baron for themselves, so that they can finally crack the base wide open here for Trace eSports. The gold lead is just too massive. 10,000 gold lead is almost unreversible here by Trace eSports. They have some scaling champions, but it's not as effective as JDG's. Especially Corki, Ash, and even a late game Akali with 10,000 gold lead is definitely a tough mountain to climb this time for Trace eSports in this game 4. And we have been complimenting the likes of Tak on his playmaking potential, but this time even he is a victim of the suppression here of JDG, especially because of Once's performance. Juju as well on the arrows, and it's just every single member of JDG performing so beautifully in this game.
Yeah, every single member of JDG has been, you know, carrying their own weight. I can't really decide on who's the MVP, because they've all had some really standout plays in this game alone. None of them have really been, you know, left out. Sadi, Juju, Ones, Doki, Feibai, they have all just worked together to gap Trace eSports in there. They're working together once again with Enchanted Crystal Arrow into the head of a pulverized combo, but Once is taking quite a lot of damage, but they are going to be knocked way back. This is going to be Pile onto the crocodile, and that is Lee Sao gone from the fight. There's a death rush being set up now. Weiba and Tak, maybe the next target's here, but it's such a beautiful thing to see JDG working together in concert.
You know what they say, right? Rinse and repeat. JDG can just come do this again and again.
And they're gonna do it again, because Tak has been caught. Tak will get away. Ignite taken down, won't take him out. But Weiba, he tried to go for a steal. Nothing doing here. Will he be able to get the kill onto Once? Not even, as that Baron will go the way of Trace eSports, or sorry, of JDG, as Sadi gets another kill, this time onto Rose. As look at this kill difference, 19-6 with the Baron buff. They didn't even lose anybody there. And there's a teleport coming in from Once. They just want to end this game as fast as possible. 18 minutes have already lapsed, and JDG are now at the throats of Trace eSports. What can they do? Lee Sao has just been melted down, and unfortunately, nobody can really stop this Nexus from falling. So that is match point for Jingdong Gaming.
And they are also on fire. Blue side won this time around by JDG. It's as if there's no red side win condition here for